This year, as part of our pig roast, we thought we would shoot some video clips and show you what it would take for you to do your own pig roast. One of the first steps is to dig a big hole so you can have space to burn all the firewood you'll need to get the coals necessary for cooking a pig. In our case, our hole is several feet deep, about 8 foot long and 4 foot wide, and we went through about 3 or 4 truckloads of wood. During the several hours it takes in order for all of that wood to burn down to useful coals, we had plenty of time to serenade the pig and measure it, and in our case we found out that our pig was almost 6 foot long. From time to time we would check back on the coals to see how things were coming, and in this case, after several hours and about 3 truckfuls of wood, a lot of the logs are still whole and not quite the size we want. So we went back to working on some of the other elements that we need for the pig roast. While there's obviously any number of ways that you can cook your pig, we found that doing it Hawaiian style makes an extremely moist and tender pig because it traps all of the moisture in the pig. One of the other things we found that's helpful is if you lay chicken wire down and then cover it with banana leaves, it makes a very handy way to wrap the pig in the banana leaves, and it also helps to hold him together when you're trying to get him in and out of the pit. While there's any number of things that you can use to season your pig, I certainly recommend a lot of brown sugar or sweet spices since the pig often has a naturally salty flavor, and that sweet will help to balance that out. This year we went all out and got a cooked syringe so that we could inject some of the flavor and seasoning right into the meat of the pig. Now, I don't know if this makes a huge difference, but it supposedly allows you to put a lot of moist seasoning right in the meat, which both increases the moistness of the meat but also increases the flavor. As you're preparing your pig, there are any number of other things that you also need to prepare. In the case of doing a Hawaiian style, you'll need to moisten the banana leaves, burlap sacks, as well as the canvas that you'll end up putting over the top of the hole. Once all of that's ready, you'll want to get some of your lava rocks out of your fire pit. You'll want to put them right into the belly of the pig so that once it's wrapped up, you have some heat from the inside that makes sure that it cooks all the way through. Now, you obviously don't want to put those lava rocks into the belly until you're ready to wrap up the pig so that you can wrap it up and get it into the pit as quickly as possible without losing any heat from those lava rocks before you get them in. As you can see here, wrapping them in that chicken wire makes for a very quick and easy way to bundle the pig up. It's just like wrapping a giant burrito. Make sure to cover his feet, snout, or any exposed areas, since anywhere that's not covered runs the risk of getting burned. Then you want to fasten the chicken wire together with lots of metal fasteners to make sure it doesn't come undone in the fire. Once you have all that ready, you'll want to carry him over and get him close to the pit so he's ready to drop in. However, before you drop the pig in, you'll need to do your final pit preparation. Now, to do this, I would highly recommend you put on long sleeve shirts, bandanas, things of that nature, and get them wet for protection because, as you can see at this point, the coals and the lava rocks are extremely hot. You'll need to get close enough to the pit so that you can rake the coals into a little bit of a trough so that you have somewhere to drop the pig. Once he's in the pit, you'll then scoop the coals and various things up to his sides and cover him. That way he's completely encased in the coals. Now, just before dropping him in, you'll want to put a few banana leaves in the bottom of the trough that you'll set the pig on. While I'm sure there's better ways to get the pig into the pit, we found that just using some basic twine tied to the chicken wire makes for a pretty good handle that you can use to lower the pig down into the pit. Once he's in the pit, you'll want to use some shovels or rakes to scoop the coals around his sides, and then also to put some of the coals and lava rocks on top of the pig before you go about completely covering him with wet banana leaves. The purpose of the wet banana leaves is to create the steam that you'll want to cook the pig. By steam cooking him, you create an extremely moist and tasty pig. Now, after you have the banana leaves completely covering the pit, you'll want to put a layer of wet burlap sacks, which again creates a lot of steam that's used to cook the pig. Now that you have all your steam, the key is to trap it all so that it doesn't escape and you don't lose all of your heat. Now, to trap all the heat, you'll want to add either a tarp or a canvas over the pit. Now, we found that using a wet canvas works really well. The wet canvas, for one, adds additional steam as that canvas carries moisture with it, but also it holds up a lot better than tarps, which often melt under the temperatures that are produced by the steam that's escaping from the pit. You'll need to cover your canvas or tarp completely with dirt to make sure that you smothered out any heat pockets where steam or heat would be escaping. In our case, we sat and chatted for about 30 minutes while we were identifying additional heat pockets as they emerged so that we could make sure it was fully covered. At that point, you can sit back and wait until the day of the pig roast. In our case, we were extremely lucky to have several musicians come out to play for this fun event. Now obviously, before you can eat the pig, you have to dig the pig out of the pit. During this time, we used the opportunity to educate everybody on exactly what went into the roasting of the pig so that they could all have an understanding of what the whole process was leading up to this moment where they were going to get to eat the pig. Now when it comes out of the pit, it looks extremely dirty, but you'll have to recall it's wrapped up in banana leaves, and those banana leaves are actually protecting it from all these coals that it's buried in. If you've put a solid enough layer of banana leaves, then it should protect the pig from these coals so that you can do as we are here. You can dust off the coals and then fold back those banana leaves so that you can get down to a clean pig that you can dig into and eat off of. In this case, we found an ear that one of the young kids wanted to try to nibble on. It seems to me that it wasn't his favorite thing he's ever had to eat. Now I have to admit that when it comes to pulling the meat off the pig, we're no professionals. And honestly, when the pig is this limp and all the bones are falling apart and the meat is literally falling off the bone, I don't know that there's any pretty way to go about it. But sometimes pretty isn't near as important as tasty, and in this case it was extremely tasty. That brings us to the end of our pig roast video. I want to thank all of you for watching, and more importantly I want to give a special thanks to Chris K for helping me host this event over the last 4 years. It's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to many more pig roasts in the years to come. I also want to thank Church of the Beloved. Thanks for being such gracious hosts and for letting us have the event at Rosewood once again. And I especially want to thank you all for all the amazing volunteer support that you offered. It definitely would not have been the event that it was without all of your help. Thanks to Jeff Greer and the 9 Taylors for the special guest appearance and for amazing music that you shared with us. Can't imagine what the event would have been without all of that amazing atmosphere that was set by your musical contribution. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who came and donated funds to support Church of the Beloved in their effort to buy and restore the Rosewood Manor. We raised over $4,000 at the pig roast. So thank you all for your contributions and for making it an absolutely wonderful event. Hopefully, we'll have the chance to do it again next year. We look forward to seeing you then.